Hey friends, welcome back to another save file speed build. And so this is the Hudson household. So it's a family of three. There's a mom, dad, and a child. And yeah, this is right next to the last speed build I did. So I forget what they're called. What are their names? Totally forgot their names. But anyway, yeah, this is the Hudson household. They also live in kind of like a second empire style home. I kind of hate it. This is definitely not my favorite build, but it's also the style. Like the second empire style is supposed to look a little bit wonky. I don't really like it a whole lot, but it looks fine in The Sims. And obviously, I think it fits into the style that the street is going to be. So if you're just joining, if you haven't seen any of the past speed build save file videos, I am starting a save file, and I'm starting it in Willow Creek, which is loosely based on like the New Orleans. So specifically for this neighborhood, which is Crawdad Corner, I'm trying to make buildings with a thought of the style of like New Orleans. So that's like shotgun style homes, Victorian, Second Empire, Queen Anne. So more like Victorian style stuff. And then we'll see if I end up extending this into the other builds, the other neighborhoods in this world. But right now, just concentrating on Crawdad Corner. So I did loosely base this kind of off of a reference, but not really. So I explained in my last speed build that like I kind of explained what Second Empire homes are wrong. This is definitely the style. Like both these homes are definitely like kind of emulating. But I was doing a little bit more research on what like Second Empire means. And so Second Empire homes are typically 2 stories with rooms in like the attic space, so like it does have a third story, but apparently like in the like 1800s 1900s, like the like 1865 to like 1900s, families were taxed based on how many floors they had in their home. So they were building homes that like they could count the attic as livable space, but it didn't count as a third floor. So they were able to have a third floor. So this house is honestly more Second Empire than the one next door, simply because there is a usable third floor. It definitely doesn't like having the like that like little like turret. I'm gonna call it turret. It's not just like the little jet out going up to third floor. That would not happen. There'd be like dormers and stuff. So yeah, this is basically more Second Empire than the other one. And I also learned that Second Empire is just a subgenre of Victorian style homes. So they all exist around the same time, but these are so identifiable because of the third floor slash attic space. So look at me doing a little bit of research. But very normally, I was stressed out this entire build. I think I just learned that like Victorian style homes are just not for me. But I think it like worked out well. But yeah, so I wish there was. So I did add dormers at first, but then I ended up removing the dormers at the top just because they like kind of look bad. I wish there was a better way to add dormers into the roofs, kind of like the roof pieces that we have, but they actually like work as actual windows. So I wish those were like actually more usable. And then at the end of the build, I do end up removing the dormers in the back just because they look bad. I think you can like use dormers when you have a bigger build because you're able to like make space, but when it's like a smaller floor plan, it just like doesn't work. So there are dormers that I do end up removing. So then like the only windows on the third floor are on that side jut out, or I do add a little skylight to one of the rooms. So yeah, this build is a little wonky. She's a little weird looking, but again, I think she fits pretty well into this world. Another like little like abnormal thing I'm adding is that so like the bottom floor is all brick and then the second floor is siding. I just wanted it to like look a little different than the one next door because I thought about it all being brick as well, but I wanted it to like I don't know be slightly different. So I ended up adding siding on the second and third floor and then brick on the first floor, which I think is also I don't know if that's like that style doesn't really fit that style super well, but it is like realistic having brick on as like the base, and then as it gets higher it's like a lighter kind of siding. It's probably like cheaper to build that way anyway. So here we are working on the kitchen. I cut out all the floor plan part because it took me ages. I was moving those stairs around for a good like 30 minutes, but I always cut out the floor plan. Maybe someday I'll keep the floor plan building parts in, but for now, no. Just to like try to keep these videos short, or because they are already pretty long by themselves. But yeah, now work in the kitchen. The color, like main color I kind of chose for the inside of this house is red. I don't like spread it everywhere, but there is a good amount of red everywhere. There's like red in the living room. So that's kind of like the the base color that I kind of based everything on. So yeah, the kitchen has red. So yeah, this is definitely like another home that was like bought and then heavily renovated. I need to like not do that every time. That is my goal at some point, is to build a home that doesn't look like it's been like freshly renovated. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I think I need to expand my building skills a little bit more before I can completely commit to that. But right now, yeah, it's renovated. I mean, and also like both of these houses are technically rentals. I'm considering that I'm gonna have someone else own the lot, and then these two families are renting out of it. So that's how they're able to, because like they have good jobs, but maybe not like amazing jobs that they could like own a beautiful home like this. And it's also like The Sims, so is it really that realistic? But basically, I'm thinking about having the mayor of the town own this lot, because there's also gonna be another lot that has like 3 shotgun houses, and I think I'm gonna have someone else own that. But I think I'm gonna try to have a mayor for each world. So I'm thinking about maybe having the mayor own this lot, and then have a different like rich person own the shotgun style home lot. So maybe, yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited to explore that lore ish. I'm actually like pretty happy with how the inside ended up looking. I'm not sure if like the floor plan is like the best I could have done. So there's a bathroom on the bottom floor that's like a pretty large bathroom actually, and then there's the living space and then the kitchen, which has the dining room attached to it. And then upstairs, I think there's 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and then the third floor is another like 2-ish bedrooms. Like there's like a bedroom, and then there's like a guest bedroom, and then there's like an office-ish space kind of vibe. So moving on to the living room, for a lot of this house, I end up using the CC Pack Oak House by Pure Sims. It's beautiful. I love the couches. I love like everything in it. And I used a lot of it for like the bedrooms and the living room, and I think that's basically it. But I did like very much heavily rely on Oak House for most of this build, which is usually what I do. I usually try to like use one or a couple CC. I mean, I use a lot of custom content. I think that's very obvious. Like everything in this house is custom content, but I try to like, to help not overwhelm myself, I try to just use like one or a couple packs in a home or even like in a room. But I am trying to be better about not using that, because then it makes it look more unique. Because I talked about in my last video, I think I have a bad problem. Not a bad problem. I have something I want to get better at is not having all my rooms look like they're straight out of a catalog. And I think using only one custom content pack kind of does that. But as I've said before, so I'm trying to integrate my own lore into this world, and I'm really trying to, and I'm kind of going about it that I'm like going from household to household. So it'll definitely come like more like in depth, not lore, but like drama and stuff will come into play later. But also like I'm not trying to stress myself out about it. So what I'm kind of going to do is like once I finish this neighborhood, we'll do a video going over like a tour of everything, and then any extra lore, anything I changed from the initial build videos. Like I think I'm probably going to go back and like change a couple of the people's names and like that kind of stuff, just because looking back at some of it, I'm like, I don't know if I like that name. Like their neighbor, his name's Chow. Like I don't want your name to be Chow. Anyway, just wanted to check in. So how are you guys doing? How was your week or weekend or just like past? I don't know when this is going up, but I just went to a little Oktoberfest celebration the other day with my partner and a couple friends, and that was a good time. There's this like beer garden. It's called Radagast in Williamsburg in New York. We went last year. It's very much like a lot of people who have the vibes. They're from Jersey. But like we always have a good time, and that's all that matters. And it's not like we go there for very long. I think we go there for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then we end up going somewhere else. But it's always like good vibes. They have like live music and like a live band and trombones and all that kind of stuff. So it was fun. And I know we're still like the middle of this build, but what I think is so funny is I forgot to add a trash can. So I did go back and like add a trash can at the end, but I just thought that was silly. And I also didn't add like trash cans outside at the other house either. So I do go back and like add trash cans later, but I thought that was funny. I was like, how do I forget a trash can? Like I remember a mailbox, but not a trash can. Anyway, moving on to this entryway. So one of my goals with this house and I know it's like a very like contemporary home already, but I was kind of hoping to have like some elements of like an older charm. So it's definitely contemporary with a little bit of like an older charm. Like there's this like console table that's a little bit older. The wallpaper is like a little bit more of like an older style with like the print and all that. And yeah, I think it's cute. And I think like the contemporary and like older stuff, of course, like always goes well together, because that's what's popular and what I think continues to be popular. I did add a little bit of clutter in the kitchen. I've been having like this thing. I don't know if this is like super common. I don't even have it in my own home, but like a little like floor mat in front of the sink. Like back home in Michigan, like where my family is there, that we have a floor mat underneath the sink. But I don't know why I've been like adding that pretty consistently to all my Sims builds. I think it just adds something to the kitchen, makes it look, I don't know, more lived in. But yeah, I do clutter up the kitchen a tiny bit. Just put like pots and not pots and pans. I put like the tools and like a paper towels and whatnot, just to make it look a little bit more lived in, even though it's not super lived in. Also, little thought in my brain that I've been thinking about. I'm like, do people actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, yeah, it definitely does happen. I almost was gonna go like, do people put plants on their kitchen counters? But then I'm like thinking of like people fully do put plants on their kitchen counters, and that's okay. Also, Aidan is trying to be better about taking care of his plants, and I recently found out that, so I have this plant that, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but I did like read online that like it's a good idea to just like soak it in the shower. So I did that, and honestly, she's looking a little perkier than she did before. So I'm hoping that she's gonna bounce back, because I was a little worried about her. I've been like, yeah, she's been dying for a hot minute. So I'm hoping now that I gave her a really good soaking that maybe she'll bounce back. So I'm hopeful about that. Speaking about plants, we are working on the landscaping. I very much just emulate kind of the same, I kind of use like the same vegetation as next door, just because like they are technically owned by the same person, like because it's being rented out. So I do think the vegetation would be very similar. So yeah, basically same thing, both by both houses. And I think it makes it look like they're like more together, even though they are very, not very, but they are like different looking builds, different styles. But I think it looks cool, and I'm pretty happy with the landscaping. I think it's like not too busy, but busy and vegetation enough. I think like having gardens like this would actually be a pain to take care of. But I also like live in New York, and I don't have a garden, and maybe I would like to have a garden. When I was growing up, I had gardens, and when I got older, I didn't want to take care of them. But when I was younger, I did enjoy taking care of them. So maybe someday in my old age, I would enjoy having a garden. So we moved on to the primary bedroom, which is where the parents sleep. And yeah, it's a pretty basic bedroom. I hate putting beds against windows, but like there's just like a lot of the times I just build homes where that's just like it's impossible to escape that. And I actually use a full closet in here too, like the get together closets, which I don't use very often, but there was that like large room, and I didn't want to like make another bathroom, so I made it into a large closet, and I think that's pretty cool. So you can woohoo in there if you want. But yeah, a lot of oak house from Pierre Sims in here again, just to kind of like keep the consistency of colors throughout the home. But yeah, so in finality, whatever. So there are 3 beds, 3 bathrooms. There's a primary bedroom, a kid's room, and then in the attic there is a guest room and an office space that could technically be converted into a 4th bedroom, but doesn't have a window in it. But it does have a little skylight. And I think like by like code, you're not allowed to have rooms with like bedrooms are not allowed to have, or at least like code in the US, like bedrooms have to have a window in it. I think it's because of like fire reasons. So it's not a bedroom, it is a office. But yeah, I thought we could maybe like discuss about the family a little bit. So the people who live here are the Hudsons. The base is from SimsOnTheRope, which is also, I think the family next door was, the base for them was also SimsOnTheRope, a wonderful Create a Sim creator. So I definitely recommend you check them out, because they have some great Sims, and I will probably be using them a lot. So yeah, this is a family of 3. I am considering adding a pet. So maybe later I'll add a pet, maybe a cat. But then I have to go in and add the cat stuff. But I think there's room for that. So yeah, so we got Baptiste and we got Cameron. And then we also have Jermaine. Those names may change, but that's what it is right now. That's kind of the name that they came with. I did change their last names. I forgot what their actual, I think it was Val or something. But I changed it to Hudson. So yeah, Baptiste is a journalist, and then Cameron, it works in the politician career as a lobbyist. So they both have extremely high stress and time-consuming careers that have pulled them away from their child Jermaine. So Jermaine has a little bit of a problem, not a problem, but like I'm going to call it a problem. Jermaine has a little bit of a problem because his parents are both consistently working, and he is a only child, which sucks. Speaking of Jermaine, we are currently working on his bedroom. So Jermaine is a genius child. That's one of his traits. So he is extremely smart. So right now I'm making a little bit more of a childish room, but I think I do end up changing it to make it a little bit more adult, like grown, or maybe not. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure. Do I keep it like this? It's very possible I keep it like this. I'm pretty sure I change it. I'm pretty sure I change it to kind of emulate next door. I mean, not next door, the parents' bedroom a little bit more. Yeah, look, I mean, just removing it right now. But yeah, yeah, he's a very smart kid. So he has the like little like the logic skill. What's it called? What is it called? It's the potion thing that kids can use. It's not potions, but the like lab table. That's what it's called. So he's a lab table in his room. Very smart. Spends a lot of time on school. I mean, his parents are always constantly busy, and so he does have a little bit of troubles because of that. But both Baptiste and Cameron are very good at their careers, but they're also both very stubborn people. So it makes their relationship sometimes a little tense. But like at the end of the day, they all do love each other, and they all do care about each other. I think Cameron, being a lobbyist and a politician, has a big thing about keeping the home clean and keeping the home neat and making it look a lot more together than it actually is. And Baptiste maybe like shares the same kind of like sentiment as her. So I think that's a lot of pressure on Jermaine to like be the perfect child when he doesn't always want to be the perfect child. So yeah, he gets along with the Delacroix down the street. He finds himself there a lot when his parents are working late. So he'll just like go down there, and he also is friends with the people next door because he likes to go hang out with little Adrian, the little baby next door. He likes to just like check in on him sometimes. So I'm definitely going to like make those relationships more apparent when we do the full neighborhood tour. So I'm gonna kind of wait to do all that stuff till I get the neighborhood done, because I think it'd just be easier on me to not also just like to keep track of it. I think it'll be smart just to wait to the end. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this kids room. I do like building kids rooms better. It's definitely a tight space. It's pretty small. Not small. It's like it's actually, yeah, it's small. And I do like squeeze a lot. There's like a toy chest in there. I end up putting a closet, like one of those like thin stand-up ones, right next to the bedroom door. But yeah, I think it looks cool, and it looks like a nice kid's room. It looks like he has a good time. He probably spends a lot of time there, which is kind of sad, but it's a good spot. Now we are working on the guest room, which is in the attic. So you have to go up 2 flights of stairs to get there. It's pretty basic. It's a guest room. I try to put like older furniture up there, so it's like almost furniture that they don't really like use all that much. So they have a guest room in case if like, I don't know, grandparents or something comes and visits them. I haven't really decided where the Hudsons are from. Like maybe they were born and raised in Willow Creek, or maybe they're from elsewhere. Haven't really decided, but they are both like university educated. So they did like maybe they like lived here, moved to Brightchester, got an education, and then came back. But they had Jermaine while they were in Brightchester. I don't know. Still formulating their story and their lore. Not that it's like that heavy of a story anyway. Anyway, yeah, the cool guest room. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. It's actually like not that boring of a room. I love that mirror, that like old mirror. And then this is their like little office space. It's like their only office space. I think a lot of the time the parents don't work at home. Maybe Baptiste does a lot because he is a journalist, so maybe he finds himself working from home most of the time. But I think that Cameron goes out in the field or just like to the office a lot. So yeah, they have a pretty small, it's like a pretty, I would say like almost like dark. Like I wouldn't want to work in there. There's not really any like apparent windows. I did put a skylight in there, so there is like some natural light. There's like a skylight above it. But yeah, pretty basic room. Maybe sometimes when Baptiste is in there writing, Jermaine will find himself kind of like sitting in that red chair just so he can be around his dad. Oh, that's sad. Poor Jermaine. And I think like they are good parents. Like at the end of the day, like they love Jermaine and they're really doing the most and the best for him. Like he's getting a good education. He's obviously a very smart kid, but it does make me a little sad that he feels a little neglected sometimes. And I think that's like tough being like an only child and having both your parents actively working. Anyway, now that we're getting close to the end of the speed build portion, let's jump into first person mode and I'll show you guys the entire home and we can meet the Hudsons in person. All right, and here is the Hudson household. They're inside, so we're gonna go meet them. Hi. Hello, friend. And we got a mailman here for some odd reason. So heading inside, we go straight into the entryway slash stair area. Very cute. In here we have Cameron, which is the mother watching TV. I love this living room. I think it looks real nice. So much light in here. And we have our kitchen and dining room right off of the living area. Again, quite simple. Back at the entryway, if you go through here, we have one of the bathrooms, one of 3. This one has a shower in it. So there's a shower downstairs just in case. I don't know, for whatever reason. And if you go upstairs, you have this landing. And then right here, we have Jermaine's bedroom. This is Jermaine's bedroom. He's with his dad, Baptiste. It's a really nice bedroom, to be honest. Like, I would love to have a room like this. Like, all that natural light. So yeah, him and his dad are just hanging out. He has his own little closet and a mirror, lunchbox. Very cute. He plays a violin, too. If you go across the hall, you come into the other bathroom. This is the only bathtub in the house. While Baptiste heads downstairs, we can go over to the primary bedroom, which is through this door. And this is the primary bedroom where Baptiste and Cameron sleep. You've got a whole closet. We'll be adding photos in here later. And then we head up to the 3rd floor, or the attic space. Here we have a very, very tiny bathroom. I'm not sure if this is all actually usable. We may have to remove this wall. Here's the guest bedroom. I really like that mirror. It's a little bit older, but again, great bedroom, good views. It's real high up, so. And then we have a really small office space up here as well. So that's the Hudson household. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.